everyone! I'm here in Haliburton, Canada. I have come to visit my family and introduce baby Caleb to everyone. We flew from London, Gatwick, all the way over here on an 8-hour flight. And when I was on the flight, I learned a few things and I thought I should definitely do a vlog about flying with babies and toddlers, or baby and a toddler. It was the first time I've ever flown with 2 children. So I learned a few things and I thought I would share my tips with you. This was Fraser's 12th ever flight. He went to Canada when he was 5 months old. He went to Spain when he was 9 months old. Then he went to Vegas when he was 18 months old. And then he went to Canada again. And then he went to Egypt. And now we're in Canada again. So a lot of his flying has been long haul, but we have done a bit of budget airline as well. So these tips will cover both areas. The first tip is preparation. So when you're booking a flight for a baby or a toddler, think about their normal nap times. And if possible, make sure that you're in the air for a bit of time before they're due a nap, so that some of the time in the air is spent with them sleeping, either in the sky cot or on you. It just makes things easier if some of the time they are not awake. Also, when booking a flight, make sure you take into account the time that you need to spend in the airport, and also the time that it takes you to get to the airport. So, for instance, when we were coming to Canada, we had to get to the airport 3 hours ahead of the takeoff time, and we live an hour away from the airport. So we basically needed 4 hours before. I mean, if you book a flight and then you have to leave your house at 3 a.m. and you have to wake up a baby and you have to get into the car and you have to disrupt them and all that kind of thing, it starts the whole day off in like a bad start. If you can be mindful of times, and if it isn't a huge difference in cost, then it's definitely worth thinking about that. Leave plenty of time at the airport to get through the gate, to get through security, to do some shopping, to pick up drinks, etc., so that you feel calm and relaxed when you're there. We actually love the airport and love the whole experience at the airport, and Fraser gets really, really excited, so we always get there as soon as we can and spend time in there sort of shopping and buying things, and it just leaves lots of times for you to get through the gate. When you're booking your flight, if you can, make sure that you book your seats or book a sky cot for the baby if you have to. Me and my husband like to, if it's a row of 3, book the 2 aisles or the 2 outer seats, so that hopefully no one will choose the middle seat if it's not a full flight, and you'll get that seat available as well to have for your baby. So take a chance when you get to the airport. Go up to the counter with your baby so that they can see that you're traveling with a baby, and it's not easy. They can sort of see the baby, and hopefully the baby can charm them a bit and say, is it a full flight? Is there any way that we can have a spare seat next to us? Doing it that way, just see if you can get a bit more space. And we've always booked like the seats with the extra leg room, and we've always chosen an aisle seat. I mean, some people maybe think that a window seat might be good for a toddler, but you're going to be up and down in the aisle, so I would recommend that you choose an aisle seat. At the gate, families are always allowed to board first, but if we have a seat already booked, like on a long haul flight, then we wait it out. We wait till the very last call before we actually get on the plane, because it's a lot more fun for the kids to run around the gate and look at planes and things like that than to get on the flight and be confined to their seat. They're going to be confined for long enough anyway, so we always wait it out. But obviously if you're traveling with a budget airline, then you can't book your seats beforehand, so just get on there and get your seats. But we like to wait it out. When you get on board the flight, if you don't get a full briefing from the stewardess or steward, then don't be afraid to ask, where's the toilet with the baby changing in it? Where's the baby life jacket? Can you heat up food for me? How do I have to hold the baby? So with the buggy, we took our McLaren umbrella buggy and we took it straight up to the gate and collapsed it at the gate. So it was our personal carry caddy the whole way. And make sure you ask where the buggy's going to be when you get off the flight. Is it going to be at the baggage claim? Is it going to be right there as soon as you get off? You need to know, because we didn't know, and we were aimlessly walking around trying to find it, and it was actually at the baggage claim, which doesn't make any sense to me because you've got a baby to carry. So anyway, make sure you find out where it's going to be. Also, if your baby is like mine and befriends strangers and just stares and smiles at them, I like to say to people, if you don't want him to do, if you don't want him to stare at you, don't engage, don't worry. There's no offense, and most people say, oh, don't be silly, it's fine. I love babies, and you sort of know where you stand. And then whenever we get onto a flight and people are looking at us like, oh God, I hope they don't sit next to me. Like my husband always like cracks a joke like, oh, you pulled the short straw, ha 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 ha, we're sitting next to you. Make sure that you get organized, know your airport, know where everything is in the airport, know if you can, for instance, if you can Boots do a service that you can book milk prior to your arrival, so you can book milk at the pharmacy and then you can go through security in the gate and you can pick up that milk for the flight. Check out if your airport has a child play center or a play area. We flew from London Gatwick and they had an amazing soft play area for the boys, so we spent some time there just letting them run around and get some exercise before we got onto like the confined flight. Hi, Bryce! Go to the family check-in. It's obviously more family focused with pretty pictures on the walls, also quicker for you to get through. Think about the day and how it's going to run and what you're going to need. Make sure you have £1 aside for a trolley, make sure you have toll money, make sure you have everything like that just so that the day runs smoothly. So make sure you make a packing list and tick off the items as you pack them into your travel cases. And if your child is over 3, I would recommend getting a travel case for them. Fraser has a trunky and he loved it. He took full responsibility of it, and we went from the airport lounge to the gate with just dragging him on it, and he was using it as a scooter and all kinds of things, so it was wonderful. For Caleb, for our baby, he's 7 months old, we brought books. Big hit was a balloon. I mean, I know these could pop, but they pack obviously this small, and then on the flight you can blow them up, and he was just sort of, we were bopping it in the air. I even made a little play area for him at my feet because we had booked the extra leg room. I put a blanket down with some of his toys like a rattle, Sophie the giraffe, and a few books and things, and he just sort of played at my feet at one point, so it gave him a bit of space. So as always being held, he was really quite hot. Fraser, I went to the local pound shop and I bought him a load of new little cheap toys, and I also bought him this Olaf from Frozen because he loves Frozen at the moment. I got him some Mushy Monsters, coloring pens and sticker books because you can't have any technology in the takeoff and landing, so you're gonna need things like that to keep them amused. He also loved Top Trumps, and he loved this little like etch-a-sketchy thing that I got from the pound shop. Cannot read that. Anyway, he loved this. My friend gave me a really good tip. I didn't actually do it, but you can, the toys that you buy from the pound shop or just the cheap little toys that you buy, you can gift wrap them with lots and lots of sellotape and then let them open them, and then just for them to open the gift wrap actually takes them 10 minutes in like alone. So that's another way to waste time. I have lots of snacks available for the kids if they don't like the food on the flight, which is highly likely if you have fussy children like me, and make sure they're the snacks that they love. Tried and tested. There's no point in trying new snacks on a flight because if they don't like them, it's just not going to work. So we had like his old favorites like Quavers, yogurt, apple, grapes, all of his favorites on there. And obviously for Caleb, we brought some of his little snacks and enough food for all of his meals and pouches because obviously they're not going to give you baby puree on a flight. And we brought 2 sippy cups. I actually brought one for Fraser and one for Caleb, but when we got to the family check-in and the family security, they said that you're only allowed sippy cups for the baby. So I quickly said that both sippy cups were for the baby, and that was fine, they let me through, but they said you're not allowed to bring any drinks for toddlers. Make sure that you check on the airline website if you are allowed to bring drinks and sippy cups for the children with you. Bring 2 changes of clothes for the baby because who knows how many explosive poos they're gonna do. The altitude could make them, a bit unsettled and stuff. And I brought a full change of clothes for Fraser as well in case he spilled anything or had an accident. Also brought 1 nappy for every hour that we were in flight, so it was an 8-hour flight, so I took 8 nappies. I brought disposable bibs because I didn't want to have a soiled cloth bib in the bag and get it all moldy and bring it home. And I also took sweets Fraser's favorite like Frutella sweet things for takeoff and landing. I had his drink, but I thought he was more likely to chew and swallow sweets, so we let him have that as we took off and landing to sort of for his ears. And of course, I tried to breastfeed Caleb on the way up and down, or I also had the sippy cup as well if he wasn't interested in that, or it was a bit like awkward. He did have some of his water out of his sippy cup. Also took a baby blanket on flight, and I layered up the children's clothes so that Caleb was wearing a vest, a t-shirt and a cardigan, because some flights are hot, some flights are cold, you just never know, so it's best to layer up. Half the flight Caleb spent in literally just a tiny little vest because it was so warm. Brought teething stuff for Caleb, I brought teether gel, I brought Ambisol and Calpol just in case something happened in the air, you never know. I brought Sudocrem, and I brought antibacterial hand gel, just because, you know, there's so many germs on a flight. Make sure you get Toddler headphones. We got Fraser these really cute blue ones, and so that he can hear the films on the screen, and that so he can hear things that are going on the iPad. And make sure that you load up your iPad with movies, shows, apps that he can play. Fraser had Doc McStuffin's shows, Henry Hug a Monster, Cars, Disney Cars, Nemo, and Frozen. If you don't know what film to put on your iPad, get Frozen, because there are no children that don't like Frozen. In terms of apps, I mean, Fraser's 3, and he loves Edu Kitchen, Zoo Train, Princess Palace Pets, and he loves Cut the Rope and Angry Birds. So all of that was on the iPad. It was fully charged, and he played on it for a lot of the flight. So the main thing is don't panic. We've been on a flight 12 times now with a baby or a toddler, or a baby and a toddler, and it's always, touch wood, been fine. I mean, I've luckily never had to travel with a sick child. I don't really know how on earth that would go. But if you can just relax as much as you can, it's a really exciting experience for the kids. I mean, Fraser was just psyched to be on an actual real plane. If you get stressed, they'll get stressed, and it will all be a big stressful experience, which sucks. All else fails, and it goes completely wrong, and you have a screaming, crying baby on the flight. You know, as long as you're seen to be trying your very best to help the situation, no one's going to be annoyed. Probably half the people on a flight are parents themselves, so don't worry. I've got to go now because I'm getting bit by mosquitoes and my camera has just died on me. So yes, I hope some of my tips have been helpful, and I will see you all soon. Have a safe flight. Bye. What was my point of saying that? Do I need to... Oh my gosh, look at this! Look at that! Oh, look at them! We got a little friend in our vlog! How cute is that? Yes, so don't worry if it all goes wrong. Just open up the door and jump out. No, just kidding. Don't do that. Oh God, what was I saying? What was my point? Turn it off, turn it off. Have you got my face?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Leave plenty. Is it still rolling? Yeah. Sorry. And what is it?
Draw on it.
Oh, sorry.
Show them what it is.
Oh, okay.
Or lose the pen.
Oh, shit. It's in the lake.
Oh no, is it really?
The pen's in the lake.
Oh, you got
it.
It should, okay, it should,
My sister's filming this and she keeps making me laugh. Hold on. We're doing well.
Okay. I can't feel my foot.
Sorry.